Hey, welcome. Today we're diving into a question that probably keeps a lot of leaders up at night. In a market this competitive, how on earth do you keep your best people from walking out the door? Well, it all comes down to cracking what we're calling the motivation code.
Let's be real. Top talent has more options today than ever before. Figuring out the answer to this one question can literally be the difference between a company that soars and one that just can't seem to keep up. So what is the secret? Okay, so before we can build any kind of strategy, we really have to get the why. Motivation isn't just some fluffy feel-good buzzword. It's the high-performance engine that powers everything, from how productive we are to how innovative a company can be.
And this, right here, this gets to the absolute heart of it. Your most valuable assets aren't on a balance sheet. They're the people who show up and bring their passion and their creativity to work every single day. A motivated team is a competitive advantage that nobody can copy.
And you can see how this all feeds into itself, right? It creates this powerful, self-reinforcing cycle. When employees are motivated, they're more engaged, which leads to amazing collaboration. That collaboration sparks more innovation, which, you guessed it, makes the work more fulfilling, and that builds loyalty. It's this incredible upward spiral.
So how do the really smart companies tap into this power? Well, it's not guesswork. It's about understanding the fundamental psychology of what makes us tick as human beings. Let's open up the motivation playbook and look at some of the core theories.
First up, you've probably seen this pyramid before. It's Maslow's famous hierarchy. The idea is actually pretty simple. You can't really focus on the high-level stuff, like being creative or growing as a person, if your basic needs aren't met. It all has to start with a fair salary and a safe, stable place to work. Now, Herzberg's theory adds a really interesting layer. He separated things into hygiene factors and motivators. Think of hygiene factors, like your salary, as things that just prevent you from being dissatisfied. But to actually make you feel satisfied and truly motivated, that's where the motivators come in. Things like being recognized for great work or having a real sense of achievement. Equity theory taps into our deep, deep need for fairness. We're always kind of subconsciously doing this math in our heads, weighing our effort against our rewards, and then peeking over at our colleagues and seeing how their ratio looks. If that scale feels out of whack, motivation can just vanish. Okay, so that's the theory. Really interesting stuff, but let's get practical. How do companies actually take these big psychological ideas and turn them into concrete strategies that keep people from leaving? The best retention strategies are really built on these four pillars. Competitive K? That covers your basic needs in Maslow's hierarchy. Career development and recognition programs? That's pure Herzberg's motivators. And a great positive culture. That feeds right into that sense of fairness and belonging from equity theory. See? They all work together. But here's the thing. The modern workplace is changing fast. These days, people are looking for a whole lot more than just a paycheck. There's this massive, growing demand for purpose, for a feeling that the work you do actually matters. This comparison just lays it out so clearly. The scales are definitely tipping. Now, don't get me wrong, financial rewards are still important, but the weight of those internal drivers, like finding meaning and making an impact, is just getting heavier and heavier. And the companies that get this are the ones winning the war for talent.
So, which companies are really putting all this into practice? Let's zoom in on a fantastic case study, Salesforce. They are famous for a culture that keeps their people motivated and incredibly loyal. They're constantly getting recognized as one of the best places to work. And that doesn't happen by accident. It's the direct result of a very deliberate, very smart strategy. So how exactly do they create an environment that's so motivating?
Here's their formula, and you'll see how it lines up perfectly with everything we've talked about. They invest in well-being, that's the base of Maslow's pyramid. They provide tons of growth opportunities, hitting Herzberg's motivators, and they build this powerful culture of purpose and social responsibility, which is becoming one of the biggest motivators of all.
Ultimately, this is the whole secret right here. It's not just about one thing. It's not just the pay, and it's not just the perks. Salesforce has cracked the code by understanding that real motivation comes from this perfect blend of feeling valued, having room to grow, and being a part of something that feels meaningful.
Which, of course, brings the question right back to you. We've looked at the theories, we've looked at the strategies, but at its core, motivation is personal. So think about it. Beyond the paycheck, what is it that truly drives you to do your best work? The answer to that, well, that's your own personal motivation code.